Good evening, or whatever the hell time it is where you are. Just going to nudge the zoom window up there a little bit because Duncan looks like a little gremlin sticking out the bottom. There he is. Hello, you can see all of you now. I'm not sure if it's an improvement. Good evening. Welcome to the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. Here's the Too Much Time, and here's the people with the hands. On that side, it's Daniel.
Hey dear, how you doing?
All right, Daniel's a little bit ill this evening, so we're going to have to take it easy on him because he's a sensitive little sausage. And down underneath, propping up the whole thing, is Duncan.
Just like a Hulk. Yeah,
just like a Hulk. And with us sort of in spirit, if not in face, is Tom, who is he's had to run home this evening, pursued by some rabbits. We don't know if he's going to make it home or not, so we're kind of in a sort of a waiting for Tomo kind of a situation here. He might pop up, he might not. Who knows? Who cares? Certainly not me.
Is that the play that Patrick Stewart and Sarah McKellen were in?
It's one of those ones that's been done a million times, but they have almost certainly done it.
Yeah. I thought Tom was drawing away all those Twitchers who had learnt about you getting the new, whatever it was you got. Twitchers would love.
Inside jokes that no one else will get. Boom, tick that one
I'll
off
tell
the
you
bingo
what,
card.
I will give £1 million to someone if they can just guess what Duncan is talking about.
What was it?
Okay. No, don't say. Don't say. There's £1 million on the line here.
Yeah.
Don't ruin the competition.
£1 million. Someone that can just
Dan,
guess.
Russ, and Tom.
Will you shut up? That's no. Okay, it's void now. It's done.
Okay, sorted. Muted him.
Yeah.
So this evening, as ever, we are hot on the heels of the news. A good sort of 4 to 5 days after the news happens. That's how most news works, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at the ridiculous roster of stuff that Marvel announced to complete Phase 4, go through Phase 5, and even teased a little bit of Phase 6 of the MCU, and what they are now referring to officially as the Multiverse Saga, to follow the Infinity Saga last time. Which I think they kind of came up with. They thought, we should probably call the whole thing something, but they've obviously it's a good idea to sort of get that in the bag to start with. So they announced a whole bunch of stuff, and honestly, it's just, if you were to when Iron Man 2 was coming out, if they were to go, oh yeah, and by 2025 there's going to be 50 films in this franchise, you would have thought they were insane. It is rather crazy what they've managed to do. Especially
after Iron Man 2, when you've gone, well, the first one was great.
Yeah,
this one's
looking at the trajectory here, 50
it's not going to go well from here, is it?
Utterly appalling.
No, I've never been so. When I still look back at it as when I was a teenager, picking up the 10p comics that weren't worth the paper they were printed on, for characters that you never ever thought you'd see in a film, and because who would want a Daredevil? We did get a Daredevil film actually in the 90s, thinking about it, but slightly smaller characters, and reading these comics just because I wanted to consume comics, because Marvel was going bankrupt in the 90s, and
that's when they sold Spider-Man to Sony, wasn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And I was picking up just armfuls of comics with my pocket money for 10p each. Because honestly, toilet roll was more expensive at the time, and when you're looking at those comics, and then now you're seeing these characters that you fell in love with in the 90s on the big screen and potentially coming to the big screen, and then everything after then, when you see comics that you think they could just never do, Civil War, how could they ever even dream of doing something as all encompassing as Civil War? Even the Avengers seemed like a pipe dream at the time. And now, the further we get along, the more we get characters that are not just famous from the comics, but also characters that really cut their teeth from the actual TV shows and the movies. It's incredible. Is superhero fatigue a thing? Fuck yes, it is. Has Tom Cruise potentially ruined my action movies for everyone this summer? That's also possible as well.
Yeah.
But
Top Gun and the Mission Impossibles, they're like a different. They're more like your realistic action movies, because what he does so incredibly, and what him and Chris McQuarrie do, is make you believe that that's actually happening. Whereas that does not apply in the MCU stuff. They're just enjoyable.
Basically, it's made the point why Netflix released The Grey Man a completely pointless thing, because I've heard it should be good because looked at the cast and was like, that looks good, and then someone just described it as if someone wrote an action film from an algorithm.
I dragged Russ to see Top Gun, by the way. Russ, what did you think of Top Gun?
I mean, it's not that you. I wasn't reluctant to go see it. I was desperate to go and see it, and I just not managed to find time. And like, when did we go and see it?
Thursday.
Last Thursday. I'd say the erection is just about wearing off.
I was just going to say, Dan dragged you by your erection.
Unbelievable movie. Like,
it's great, right?
It's crazy. It's very like that is. It should be in kind of Oscar nomination level.
I think it's going to win an Oscar. I genuinely think at some point
it won't.
I don't know what it's going to be.
I would not be surprised if it's nominated for Best Picture. It won't win, because it's not people in frocks going but it is genuinely doing something that you did not think was possible with movies.
I say the film I compare it to is Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah,
which is that this action film comes out and just blows everything out of the water that summer. Like
it feels like the same sort of like step change that brought through, and the way when just all other directors could not stop going on about how incredible it was. Yeah,
and I think Top Gun's the same thing. I'm genuinely, I love it so much. I've seen it 4 times now,
and it shouldn't work. Like, it's got all these 80s callbacks. It's ridiculously like heartfelt and earnest to the point of being cheesy.
Every beat with perfection.
It shouldn't work. But it's incredible. The sex scene is far less distressing than the first one. It's amazing.
You gonna say something, Duncan?
I've got a sort of Dunkadope that, trust me, it's not a bad one.
Strap in.
So Emma,
it's always reassuring when people start out and go, "Oh, trust me, it's not one of the bad ones."
This is not going as far as saying it's one of the good ones either.
Emma shared a photo of a friend of hers who we call RAF John, because
what's he do then?
Is he in the Navy?
He was in the RAF. He was actually High Commissioner for Malta at one point.
1 second. I'm listening.
And at some Red Arrows RAF. What was it? An RAF thing? That's an air show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's the Royal Air Force air show. Because John, funnily enough, being RAF John, is involved, met Tom Cruise.
Nice.
RAF John is kind of our age, maybe a bit younger. He's in the photo. Tom Cruise. Oh, he organised. Sorry, RAF John organised the air show.
Get to the Tom Cruise bit.
He met Tom Cruise. He's got a photo. This person that we know met Tom Cruise.
I mean,
has a photo of them smiling because Tom Cruise loves his planes. Tom Cruise looks younger than a guy who is under 40.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, Tom Cruise looks younger than me.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it does.
Tom Cruise
it's crazy.
Is what, 60? And in this film, he's flying planes, and you're just kind of like, yeah, cool. Like he's the best of the best pilots still, and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. I can see that.
So that's like I don't know what's the closest I've come to. I've eaten in that Indian restaurant in St Albans that he's gone to.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, there you go. But I genuinely think, try to not give it away. Maverick proves it's doable. Is one of my all-time favorite movie scenes now.
But bear in mind, it's a bunch of people looking at a computer screen with a little triangle on it.
Yeah.
And it's quite incredible.
It is it is all-time, like, favourite movie scenes. It's up there. I fucking love that film so much.
The entire movie is basically the trench run from Star Wars.
Yeah. Like, it's unashamedly the trench run as well. It talks about, like, the lasers.
It does such a good job of, like by the... I don't want to spoil anything, but basically it does such a good job of establishing what's going on without being boring. But by the time they're doing the mission, you know exactly what they're doing next, why it's dangerous, and
you know what
how
miracle
important
number
it is.
1 is, miracle number 2 is, and you know what Coffin Corner is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
is
you
so
know
fucking
who
good.
Dagger
go
1,
go and
Dagger-
see it, seriously.
fucking
Honestly,
amazing.
it's just amazing.
I want to. Like, there is. I don't
I
know.
know.
how
I've been
people-
trying to see it for like 2 months and only managed to get out.
Our
last
local
Thursday to go see it.
cinema is showing it. I was going to look at times to see if there was an evening, or if I could bunk off work, and do it and see it, because I need to see it.
Also, I'm going to die on this hill. Fucking Hangman should play Gambit. Like the guy who plays Hangman in
He's
his films.
very good. Like
He is very good.
he's an utter
quote him.
asshole.
Yeah, yeah,
But you like him.
yeah. You do throughout the whole fucking film.
He's
even when
such a
he's being
prick.
dickhead.
It's
Like-
a difficult line to what. Apparently, he had to be kind of talked into that role
Yeah.
because he was worried. Like he went up for Rooster and didn't
Yeah.
get it, and they wanted him to take on the Hangman role, and he was really reluctant. And like Tom Cruise and Chris McQuarrie phoned him up and were like, "Dude, this is going to be good for you.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to make this role really something incredible."
Do you know who Bob is, by the way, Russ? We will get onto Marvel in a second, I promise. In real life, who Bob is?
In real life, no, who is
Yeah.
he in real life?
Bill Pullman's son.
Oh yeah, I did know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's quite
That's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. No, but what's your call sign? Bob.
Also, Manny Jacinto is in it. The guy from The Good Place, but he's in like the other team that you never hear from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there's
I
like
missed that.
yeah, it sounds. I think there might have been a bit of sort of cutting room floor type stuff. Because they made quite a fuss when he was cast. But he doesn't get a line.
I can swing this back to Marvel.
Yeah, please do, because we are
The
veering
guy,
dangerously off course here.
the guy who is spoilers if you haven't watched Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's too late now. Go fucking watch it. The guy who plays the new Falcon essentially is one of the pilots in this. So like he did all the training like in the planes and to go up there and everything. And apparently he came back to Marvel and went, "Look, I've done all the training in planes. Put me in the real things now, and we can do it." And Marvel had to remind him these things don't fucking exist.
Yeah.
So
Put the wings on me. I can do this.
put the actual wings on me. I'm good. I've had the zero G training. No, not the zero G training. That's the Expanse. I've had the G-Force training now. Get me out there with Captain America. We can do this for real. So yeah, that's good. Top Gun's really good. So Marvel-wise, where do we want to start? Do you want to start with the remainder of Phase 4?
Yeah, so I think we'll kind of go through. I've got sort of everything in release order.
Yeah.
So basically, just go through it. What's your reactions? What's your hot take? What do you think's gonna be good? What do you think's gonna be shit?
So Phase 4 is going to be the multiverse saga.
No, Phase
So
5
phases
and 6.
4, 5, and 6. So 1, 2, and 3 were the Infinity Saga. So that was everything from Iron Man up to Endgame.
1 second.
And 4, 5, and 6 are the multiverse saga.
Yeah. So Phase 4 is what is happening at the moment. It started with Eternals, I guess. What was the first thing after Endgame? No, Black Widow. So Black Widow would have been the first thing in Phase 4. All the TV shows so far have been Phase 4.
Yeah.
And so still to come. So Thor: Love and Thunder is in cinemas at the moment. We've got Wakanda Forever coming soon, which there was an insane trailer for released. And She-Hulk: Attorney at Law is going to close out Phase 4. Have you guys seen the Wakanda Forever trailer?
Oh
Yes.
my god.
I am
times.
excited for that movie.
It looked a bit misty the way I was watching it because it was quite dusty in the room I was in at the time. So, fuck
Yeah,
me,
that
I'm going
was
to cry
emotional.
myself, cry my eyes out through that whole
It's-
film. It's so sad.
And just the trailer. I mean, it was so
Yeah.
like the edit and the music in the trailer were really well done.
So much happens. There's just I watched it. I still know I haven't taken it all in.
But I couldn't tell. Like,
watched it.
there's not really much in the way of plot. I couldn't tell you what's really happening in it.
From what I understand, the film takes place after T'Challa has died, and it's about a nation in mourning, along with a mother that's lost their son, and at the same time they're facing a new threat in the form of the Atlanteans, and they've got to do something about it whilst the person that's kept them safe is now dead.
So I
which is
don't really know
fucking
much about
impossibly sad.
the Atlanteans. This is Namor, is that right?
Yeah.
Who is sort of MCU Aquaman, and he's a bit of a dick to everyone.
Yeah, MCU. He described himself as like I think he's the original anti-hero because like he's a bellend, but at the same time He generally does what he believes is the right thing.
So he's not sort of fully evil as such. It's
No,
just he will go up against people.
He does what's the right thing for Atlantis.
And Atlantis is literally, it's not like in another universe or anything. It is literally at the bottom of the sea.
It's already been mentioned in the MCU as well, briefly. There's a bit when they're talking about an underwater earthquake or an underwater volcano.
Yeah, in
Endgame.
It's in.
Yeah. What can we do about it? There's nothing you can do about it. These things just happen.
It's an Endgame.
Yeah, and what is actually happening is that this is an Atlantis thing.
And it's what's her name from Wakanda that's saying that, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
From, I can't remember her name, but one of the Dora Milaje.
Looks good. They've obviously they've nicked a few shots from Avatar: The Way of Water, but
that's someone. Yeah,
they're not being a prick about it, so that's fine.
Yeah.
That
film looks boring as fuck. By the way, I don't care. I've seen that trailer like 6 times now.
I think the trailer for Avatar is arrogantly abstract.
I agree. Yes.
It's like no. People don't need to know anything about this. It is so visually stunning that what is essentially a screensaver will do us perfectly.
It's
for our trailer.
It looks like fucking Enya in visual form.
Yeah.
It's just like fuck off. Like what the just
endless shots of people going ooh and stroking whales.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that every person I've ever been with, I'm just leaning over and going, "He's fucking that whale."
Yeah,
like just like and really ruining the mood. So or improving it. Who knows? I don't know.
My excitement levels for the Avatar 6 sequels or whatever many there are absolutely flatlined. I saw Avatar once and I have not thought about that movie since.
I saw Avatar once and went, oh my god, that film was just amazing. Look how beautiful it was. And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, quite boring though, wasn't it? Not really much happened. And hang on, they're fucking the animals.
It had a weird level of cultural resonance. Were we all just bored or something when that came out? Because it's not that great a film. Well, it looked incredible.
Also,
it really benefited from coming out in the 6 months where people were prepared to pay twice as much for a cinema ticket to go and see something in 3D.
See in 3D and then go and sit down in fucking sunglasses to watch a film as well.
There is another thing. It's basically an extended moon battle of the Endor moon battle, because they're essentially animal fucking Ewoks, because they take on.
I must have missed that version of Return of the Jedi. I'm not going to lie.
Well, it's like it's the Ewoks versus the Stormtroopers, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
But in this one,
when were the Ewoks fucking? By the way,
that's why it's
the blue cat people.
If the Ewoks found another animal and they were riding it, and they were actually riding it whilst attacking Stormtroopers.
Yeah. So if those blue cat people found an Ewok and they found that Ewok had a tail,
those Ewoks are in trouble.
No,
docking all over the place.
Well, here's the thing, right? They're getting fucked. Then the Avatar people, they're getting eaten as well, because the Ewoks, they'll fucking eat anything.
They'll eat people.
Yeah, they'll just eat people. They don't care. Oh, unless you happen to have a droid that looks exactly like their deity. For no good reason
they never
whatsoever.
threatened to eat Leia either.
No, because
they probably knew they couldn't get away with it by that point. So, Wakanda Forever, that is coming out fairly soon, isn't it? And
November, I think, isn't it?
Absolutely, I think it's going to be quite heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's going to be awful. Like, it's going to be great, but I'm going to just be an absolute. Every time I think about it, I start welling up.
But we get in the trailer, we also get, obviously Shuri's in it, who I suspect is going to become the next Black Panther.
Yeah, we don't find out who becomes Black Panther.
It's, what's her name, Nakia. In fact, I can imagine actually maybe Shuri doesn't want to, maybe she's going to be the I don't know, we'll see, won't we? And then we also see Riri Williams in there.
Yes.
Who
precursor
is
for Ironheart.
Obviously hanging out in Wakanda for some reason. She's not Wakandan, is she?
I don't think so. She's not in the comics.
I don't know what it's going to do in the MCU. But so we see a glimpse of her trailing Ironheart, which is sort of coming later. And then after or at about the same time as Wakanda Forever, Phase 4 is going to be closing out with She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
Is that the last thing in Phase 4?
I don't know which order they're coming in.
I
think
think Wakanda Forever must be, surely.
You'd have thought they'd want to finish on a bang like that, yeah.
Because She-Hulk is a TV series.
She-Hulk is a TV series, and it looks fucking brilliant.
I think it looks great. Yeah.
There's
really
been a lot
excited.
of people moaning about the special effects. People who really don't know what they're talking about, moaning about special effects.
Yeah.
But it's a trailer. They're not finished yet.
She looks different from the Hulk. She's fucking meant to. Like, she's meant to look different from the Hulk.
Yeah.
It's not... They're both fucking green. That's about as close as it gets, really.
But I mean, this obviously is skewing far more comedy by the looks of things. It does look quite amusing. Teaser for Daredevil popping up right at the end of the trailer, which so we've seen Charlie Cox back in the MCU.
Painstakingly, like, over analysed as well to discover that he's wearing the red and yellow outfit, which is quite exciting, which is like Daredevil's original outfit.
Yeah. So that's going to be quite cool, because obviously they've picked Daredevil and Kingpin out of the sort of Defenders stuff that they did.
I think they're going to bring them all in. That would be my guess. I'd imagine we'll get Jessica Jones in at some point.
Once you've opened one of these doors, there you go.
Yeah.
So that closes out Phase 4, and then starting next year, we're into Phase 5, which they've mapped out in quite a lot of detail. I think there's probably one or two maybe things missing. Does it feel
that, like, Kevin Feige just kind of took Phase 4 off to go and do other things? Then he's like, okay, so everyone's like, they get to the end of Phase 4, go, oh, where is he? Oh my god, it's San Diego Comic-Con tomorrow, we've got nothing. And he just kind of rocks up with a tan in some shorts and goes, got it sorted, guys, don't worry.
PowerPoint slide.
Yeah,
boom.
Exactly, yeah. Phase 5 and 6 sorted. Let's go.
So yeah, starting off, first film, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Amazing title.
They're just taking the piss with the names now, aren't they?
Yeah.
The Love and Thunder and Quantumania is yeah.
So we basically everything sort of here onwards, we don't really know much about. There's no trailers or anything for any of this stuff yet.
We've seen one still.
Yeah.
Which is
Scott Lang with a book launch or something.
Yeah. With it's Scott Lang. We've seen Scott, Wasp, and Cassie. There's a picture of the three of those together.
Yep.
Which was always going to happen because they magically made Cassie 5 years older, which means they could bring in her as stature, basically, which is cool. So we're going to get that. I wanted to say I ran through KD Lang, Jessica Lang before I eventually got to Cassie. So yeah.
I mean, there are too many characters to remember now. Far too many.
Yeah, unless you've got some like experience from them, I suppose. So, but yeah.
And it's also apparently Bill Murray is going to pop up in this movie.
Yes,
which instantly makes it great.
Yeah. Yeah, Bill Murray though, I don't know. Well, hopefully, like if these allegations aren't true, which we're kind of hoping, he's not wonderful around women, which I can sadly kind of believe.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're not true. Hopefully it's nothing, because Bill Murray's something of an 80s hero of mine. So, but if it's true, then that would be quite sad, and I'd be interested to see what Marvel do with that.
Yeah. And so following that up is the Disney Plus show Secret Invasion, which sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, and it also sounds like it's going to start tying together a lot of sort of currently dangling plot threads.
Yeah.
So we know there's Skrulls knocking about. We've seen them pop up a couple of times. We know Nick Fury is off on some spaceship up to something. So there's a few sort of bits and bobs to start sort of extending on there. So it sounds like that's going to be quite a good kind of... Looks like it might be quite sort of espionage-y. Lots of, people pretending to be other people, that kind of thing. Should be quite fun. I mean, I really like the sort of the cheeky Aussie Skrulls that they've gone for.
Me too.
Rather than them being straight up baddies.
If it's anything like the comic, the idea of the comic is that there's basically a load of superheroes have been infiltrated by the Skrulls and are actually Skrulls. when a spaceship arrives and it's full of the actual superheroes that have been captured by a Skrull. So interesting to see what they do with this. Like,
I guess it's not going to be literally that.
No,
also,
because
like I kind of hope they don't go for any of that. They were a Skrull all along, or they were a real life decoy all along type stuff, because it cheapens things.
Apart from the ones we already know, which is Nick Fury, and also I'd imagine you could probably do what's her face, Maria Hill as well.
Was she? I mean, she was a Skrull in Spider-Man, wasn't she?
Oh, was she?
I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was.
It gets mentioned.
Yeah,
is it who is it? The DDoS that just
DODC.
DDoS is something completely different.
DDoS is that's when you try and hack a website.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? They already mentioned, they know that Nick Fury's off world, so I'd imagine they're going to be heavily involved in this as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do with them, because they're kind of just generic dick government agency at the moment.
Yeah.
It's like S.H.I.E.L.D.'s gone, SWORD never really took off, so now we've got these people who can just be the goons going around getting things wrong. But I'm sure there is more to them than that. SWORD, do you see? You saw WandaVision, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
SWORD is the agency, is the government agency full of dicks in that.
But do they get wrapped up after that?
Pretty much.
I don't know, but they've never been mentioned since. Although there might be some more coming into that, because obviously Photon is
Nick Fury ends up off world. It's Spider-Man, is it? It's before Spider-Man.
I think it's the end of Spider-Man, isn't it?
Yeah.
Talos.
It's the end of Far From Home.
Yeah.
Oh right, I haven't seen that yet.
It turns out he was Talos. Yeah. So Far From Home. That's the second one, not the third one.
Yeah, not the third one. Second one.
Yeah.
They should have just called them Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3.
Oh yeah. Far From Home. Yeah. Sorry.
So that looks pretty sweet. Next up, very excited for this one, GOTG Vol 3. Which is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
No stupid name.
No stupid name, and this is going to be the last Guardians of the Galaxy with this incarnation of the Guardians.
Is that definite?
Apparently, yeah. So this could be pretty cool.
Doesn't necessarily mean that's the last time we see the Guardians of the Galaxy, but it does mean it's the last time.
No, but I think this is going to be the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie with that core group. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we know what to expect pretty much, don't we? So it's going to be more Guardians, more Galaxy, I suppose. But it's
that could be the title of the movie.
But we know we're getting Adam Warlock. And Nova, I think, has been announced for this film. But I don't think they've announced a bad guy. My money would be on something Celestial related. It does feel like we're kind of building up to like something Galactus-y at some point. And now this might be a pretty good opportunity to introduce something like the Fantastic Four.
I mean, this saga could well be called the "We're doing the big weird shit now" saga. Giant space robots. Fine, let's do it.
Yeah.
So the next thing after that is Echo, follow-up, sort of spin-off / follow-up to Hawkeye.
Weird
Disney Plus series.
Cool choice, I thought, that they went with Echo.
Because, I don't think it's a character that people are sort of desperately saying, "Oh, we really need an Echo show." But I think they could do some really interesting things with it.
Yeah.
Would not be at all surprised if we start seeing like Daredevil type people in this as well. Obviously, because there's already been links to Kingpin in Hawkeye.
Kevin Feige came out and said that Daredevil and Spider-Man are going to lead like the street level stuff.
Yeah,
they're going to be like the main faces of the street level stuff, and then everything else is going to be the batshit crazy kind of off-world stuff. So, but all the street level stuff, the main two characters will be Daredevil and Spider-Man, which is awesome because it means that they'll meet.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Well, I mean,
you say you've not seen No Way Home. Duncan.
Yeah, I haven't seen No Way.
Then yes, then they'll meet. So they're going to lead that, and you can imagine things like here's Kate Bishop as well, and here's Echo, and here's now.
I really want to see Kate Bishop again. She was a lot of fun. I
fucking love that Hawkeye series. I by the way, while we're at it, really like Miss Marvel too. Miss Marvel.
That was stunning. Really really good. Like way better than you sort of had any right to be honest.
If running up the hill / Master of Puppets hadn't been a thing in Stranger Things, I think we'd be talking about the living on the edge moment in Ms. Marvel a lot more. But as it was, it came out just after the whole like fucking running up the hill thing from Stranger Things happened. So,
but no, I mean it really was phenomenal.
Yeah,
and a lot kind of deeper and more sort of contemplative than you'd think it was going to be. All the stuff about partition, and you get that title card coming up saying British occupied India 1942, and you just have that instant feeling of like, oh, we are not going to come out of this looking good.
No.
But like you learn more about partition and the history of India and Pakistan from that series than ever did from history lessons.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not something we talk about. Oh, the Empire, everyone loved it.
It was amazing.
It was a wonderful thing. No one ever really rebelled against it.
And then we just sort of stopped it, and then there were no problems caused by that. So
absolutely.
Next thing in the history books is World War II, and then the Olympics.
Yep. In 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah. I missed the 1966 World Cup as well, but yeah.
What's the last we talked about? Echo? Yeah. Following that, another Disney Plus series, Loki series
fucking yes,
2.
into my veins.
So this is the first series 2 of one of these apparently one-off Disney Plus shows. But I think everyone involved just had such a good time, including Hiddleston, obviously, who does not need to be doing this.
Oh.
But I think he really enjoyed. Like Loki's got to be a good, fun character to play.
Yeah.
He's walking around being a lovable arsehole to everybody.
Yeah,
so
just
that's going to be
straight in my veins.
That's going to be
hopefully we'll get a 3-way kiss between what's her face, and more Mobius and Loki as well in this as well, where they all realise
get another Loki in there. Get Richard E. Grant back.
Yeah, fucking 4-way. Let's go. Like we'll get. Oh god, what's her name? What was the other Loki's name?
Yeah, because she didn't go by Loki, did she? I can't remember.
No, she's amazing though. She's incredible.
There was some amazing stuff in Loki, and also like it can just do anything, pretty much, because it's not really bound by the laws of time and space.
They've come out and said that basically everything that's happening now is caused by Loki, which is just so hilariously MCU. Not necessarily even Marvel Comics, but MCU, specifically MCU. That Loki, in this instance, accidentally fucked up the entire timeline for everyone involved. And I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Sylvie, thank you, Paul. Yes. Multiverse plot screams Kang the Conqueror is the big bad, especially after Loki. Well, we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, yeah, absolutely. Love it.
So following that, in July next year, is The Marvels movie, which is basically the follow-up to Captain Marvel and continuing Ms. Marvel. And I'm insanely excited about this.
Because we'll get Photon as well. So it's
Photon presumably is going to be in it. And also, I can never pronounce her name properly. Is it Zora Zoe Ashton from Fresh Meat is going to be the baddie. And she's amazing as well. So this could be...
She's going to be the baddie?
She's going to be the villain, apparently, yeah. I don't know if she's going to be like the villain or a villain.
Is she just going to be a character from Fresh Meat?
Oh, I hope so.
It's literally just VOD.
VOD, that's
fucking stuff up. But, like I'm really I want to see more of Ms. Marvel because it was so good and she was so amazing in it. Like she was like 5 minutes of her and you got much more character and sense of fun out of her than you did from America Chavez in the entire movie. So she was really good. The character was really good.
I feel bad for America Chavez because I think she's the victim of bad writing, though.
I think the problem is she's not a character. She's a MacGuffin.
She should be a character though because she's a very cool character.
Yeah. Hopefully, like it's nothing to do with the actor or anything like that. I just think she could have been a glowing cube in that movie.
Can we talk about how they haven't announced Young Avengers?
But there are some things that they've not talked about, and there are some, especially in the next phase, there are some big gaps that are going to have some stuff in them.
Yeah, that seems like an open goal, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, especially now you've got Spider-Man, you've got Kate Bishop, you've got Ms. Marvel,
you've got Cassie,
yeah,
you've got almost certainly by then, Wiccan and Speed as well.
Yeah.
That's like you've got God, what's you got Riri Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the Captain America. Oh, what's his name? The Patriot or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the Patriot.
and he's been introduced as a character, which is our name's just falling out of my head tonight.
Oh, he's like Isaiah Bradley's nephew. That guy, isn't it?
Exactly,
I don't know if he was really named as.
He was like he's I can't remember his fucking name, but yeah, they definitely named him as like this is him. So
you've got Sam Carter still was. You got You
got Shuri as well.
Sam Carter's who was ended up being sort of like the unnamed bad in Falcon and Winter Soldier. So it is Sam, isn't it? What's it?
Sharon
Carter.
Sharon Carter.
Yeah,
Sharon.
I think she's not really a baddie, is she? She's just sort of a bit shady.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I think
it was hard to tell.
baddie.
It was hard to tell Falcon Winter Soldier because it was so badly put together. So
yeah. But yeah, I extremely excited about the Marvels. Almost as excited as I am about the next film. It's fucking Blade.
I know
They're doing
so,
fucking Blade again.
So like, for so many people, I'd imagine they will take on the comics, but for so many people, Blade was like, I don't think it's quite there, but it's up there with like The Crow of films you watch in the 90s when you want to watch something cool with like cool club scenes and like cool music and stuff like that.
Blade was like Blade was a good comic book movie that came out in the same decade as Spawn.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, it is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
If it does not include at some point the line, "Some motherfucker's always trying to ace skate uphill," as I'm walking out the cinema. Come on, it's fucking Blade. This is going to be amazing.
I am very
Blade
excited.
2, even better.
Yeah, it really is. Blade 3,
Blade Trinity,
heap of shit.
Shite.
Blade Trinity was such a disappointment. I mean, after Blade and Blade.
Oh my god, yeah. Especially considering they went the whole like, here's Dracula. He's a bodybuilder. Like what?
Yeah.
Like you're missing the whole point of Dracula here.
Doesn't include that immortal line from Ryan Reynolds, but I feel like he's topped it since then.
Yeah.
But I think Blade could be pretty good. And this is presumably also going to start looping in Jon Snow.
Yeah, it has to, right?
And maybe like Moon Knight. Like if this feels like it's going to be the sort of the supernatural weirdo type stuff.
That's
the Warlock kind of stuff.
It feels like they are they're kind of sectioning the Marvel Cinematic Universe into these are the ones that fight the street level guys. Here's the supernatural guys. Here's the outer space guys. Here's like the multiverse guys. That kind of thing.
And like the sort of the pantheon of gods type people as well.
Yeah, for which this is saying. And crazy. Also, have you seen who's been announced as Dracula as well?
No.
Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander in The Boys.
Oh yeah. I did see that.
Really, he's very casting. Good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect casting.
Yeah. So
nice.
That's excellent. I can't wait to see that. So, yeah.
So I'm super fucking excited about Blade. And then so moving into autumn of 2023, Ironheart, Disney Plus series,
featuring almost certainly Shuri at some point as well. I would imagine.
I mean, like they've obviously established a relationship there, so it'd be weird if they didn't.
Yeah, definitely.
And then close after that, something which I suspect was not planned until WandaVision came out. There's going to be a series called Agatha: Coven of Chaos, which is fucking brilliant.
You say you suspect it probably wasn't planned until WandaVision came out, and I suspect you're probably right. I do, however, believe they probably signed Catherine Hahn to like a 4 or 5 series contract, knowing that Catherine Hahn is fucking incredible in everything she's in, and they were going to do something with her at some point.
She was so good in WandaVision that not having her coming back, just a bit criminal.
Yeah. So it sounds like this is going to be like looking at her throughout history, basically.
Cool.
So
all for it.
Yeah.
Start with Salem, and then let's just fucking go from there. Let's just fucking go.
And then so moving into 2024, Daredevil
Bonkers.
Born
Let's
Again.
talk about the fact that they are 2 years ahead. They've mind fucked us one more time. Yeah.
Also, this is probably going to change. Like, if you go back and look at the phase 4, although COVID, but like there were a few things changed or moved around, so this is probably not set in stone. But Daredevil Born Again, Disney Plus series. Apparently, this is going to be like 13 episodes,
fucking A.
which is really unusual for like they're 6-episode series. These things.
I think they've kind of gone, all right, you fucking love Daredevil. Now he's the centerpiece of what we want to do in terms of the street level.
I do think if they're doing this for bear in mind that the previous Netflix MCU TV, Christ almighty, the Defenders type stuff, got criticised for being a bit bloated and overlong.
True.
Because this was back when people still thought that you needed to do TV shows in a broadcast TV way rather than making the episodes however long you want and doing as many or as few of them as you want. But the Disney Plus shows have all really been this pared down 6-episode in and out storytelling. So it's interesting that they felt it necessary to commit to a 13-episode series for this. But there's a lot to bring in. Like I said, they're obviously focusing on Daredevil as kind of the centerpiece of the street level stuff. It's presumably there's potential to link it into Spider-Man, to Echo, to Hawkeye, to Thingy, She-Hulk.
They're not rebooting it as such, are they?
So it's the same character. Yeah. It's Charlie Cox as Daredevil. But as far as I understand it, pretend the Netflix series didn't happen.
Yeah.
Or don't take it as like
you can
happen.
Not pretend it didn't happen as well. You can still enjoy that series.
I think they're just not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it was just a bit weird and New York was full of ninjas by the end.
Yeah.
It was a bit weird in the end, but I did kind of like the end. I mean, I loved all of the Daredevil stuff. I thought it was really cool.
I kind of hope this ends with him facing John Wick, personally, but
no, because then it's just oil and.
But then they can't do another series after that because Daredevil would be dead.
So following that, this is probably like the highest profile film so far. Captain America: New World Order.
I'm in for this.
Yeah.
Just from the title.
It's him doing a podcast with David Icke, right?
This time around. But so Anthony Mackie stepping up as Cap properly for a movie. This is going to be like a tentpole, I think, for this phase.
Dan's going to have a tentpole.
I mean, look at how Daredevil, spring 2024, Captain America 4, May 3rd, 2024. I would be very surprised if Daredevil doesn't run directly into Captain America 4 as well.
Sorry, I'll correct myself. I know who will have a tentpole. Phil Knuckles.
He will. Me too. I fucking love Sam as Captain America as well.
Yes. I mean, I know Captain America and Falcon and Winter Soldier gets some criticism. I actually still really enjoyed it. I actually liked
it. It was perfectly enjoyable. It's no Book of Boba Fett. But it just didn't have a great story, really.
Have you seen that TikTok, Russ? I can't remember. What is it? Paul, can you say something that made me angry? Boba Fett's Book of Mandalorian. That'll do it. Better than Mandalorian. So the more I look at it, the more I think Daredevil leading into New World Order, where he has to fight these terrorists that are trying to bring down the same group of terrorists potentially from the Falcon Winter Soldier TV series, leading straight into Thunderbolts, which will almost certainly have the US agent in the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, so this kind of came out of nowhere for me. So the Thunderbolts, they're kind of they're sort of semi-reformed villains, aren't they?
Kinda, yeah.
So it's got Baron Zemo running it. I don't really know much about this.
Baron Zemo with what's her face from Seinfeld.
Hang on, as in Baron Zemo, as in
The guy
Werewolves
from
of London, yeah.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah, the writer of the song Werewolves of London. Yeah.
So
Warren Zevon joke, everyone.
I'm getting kind of Suicide Squad vibes from this one.
Yeah, but it might be good.
Baron Zemo was a lot of fun. They kind of did that thing where they slightly Jason Stathamed him in Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
To go from like a kind of fairly ruthless murderer to he's actually quite a good guy, really, isn't he?
Look at how many Turkish delight he gives to the kids. Yeah, it's that kind of thing. Yeah. Let's predict who's going to be in it. So, Baron Zemo. We've got US Agent as well. We've got Black Widow's sister.
Yeah, because she's
Yelena.
kind of.
Yeah.
So Yelena, she's sort of slightly shady still, isn't she?
Yeah.
I mean,
at one point,
potentially Echo.
At one point, yeah, and at one point Venom was in.
No.
I don't think that's going to be the case with this one, if I'm honest with you. But wouldn't put it past like a Spider-Man villain. I can think of one that stands out to me personally that they need. Let's bring a vampire into the mix here, shall we?
No.
Guys, I think Thunderbolts can only round it out with all of a sudden you hear like a whoosh and then it's Morbin time. And then all of a sudden there's Jared Leto and 30 Seconds to Mars plays in the background. And it's just going crazy. And like there's all his cultists that he leads onto the fucking island, which is fucking weird. And then
Blade comes along and slaughters him. Yeah, and that would be great.
Yeah, like it just that feels like a missed opportunity as well, doesn't it? That like, why did they not save Morbius to be in the Blade film? But I don't know. Whatever. I'm glad they didn't because it's shite. But it's yeah. Okay, no, let's not put Morbius in there. So who else have we got potentially going to be in Thunderbolts? Like the slightly shady characters. Namor's, I think, too high level.
Yeah.
Like King of Atlantis. Nah, I don't think
from what I don't know much about him, but it doesn't sound like he's the sort of person who would join a team to go and do somebody else's dirty work for them.
No, exactly.
And also, bear in mind, this is coming out in July 2024. We've got like 2 years worth of stuff to generate baddies for it.
Taskmaster as well.
What, Craig David?
Yeah, exactly.
Craig Davis.
Yeah.
Did slightly ruin Black Widow for me.
Never not funny. I'm just going to say that. Never not funny. So we've gone with so we've got, John Walker, Yelena. I'm just looking at it now. Abomination. Like, we've seen Abomination kind of like skirting around a little bit.
Yeah, so like we see him in the trailer for She-Hulk, I think, don't we?
And we've seen him in Shang-Chi as well.
But he seems to have mellowed out. Like, he's doing sort of yoga stuff. And, in Shang-Chi, he's doing, like, wrestling-style rigged fights with Wong.
Yeah.
Wong, MVP of the saga so far.
I am slightly concerned Wong is this phase's Coulson.
If they do Wrong by Wong, I'm going to be very upset.
Wrong by Wong. Coming in 2025, right?
I just can't get over the fact that like he's in that episode of the IT Crowd where they play Countdown, and he's in that really weird sitcom 15 Stories High when he was about 20.
Amazing. He's got such a Cockney voice as well.
Yeah,
he doesn't sound anything like Wong. So yeah. I'm on movieweb.com. So they've also added The Swordsman, which was was Jack Duquesne? I can't remember his name.
Jack Duquesne from Hawkeye.
Yeah. Agatha Harkness, potentially.
Who's dead, isn't she? Does she
get Elektra?
Does she Agatha die at the end of WandaVision?
No, she gets her mind altered.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Someone suggested Elektra as well, which is interesting because we might get Elektra in the Daredevil series.
Possibly, yeah.
Ghost from Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah, but she wasn't really a baddie, was she? She was just trying to heal herself. But yeah, I mean, she was another character that got a little bit sort of poorly served.
The fact that it's ending with this says that we are going to get something Thunderbolt. You can't just say, and here's the Thunderbolts to end this phase. Like, you've got to say, here's the Thunderbolts in Captain America, and here's what they're doing in their own film.
So apparently that's rounding out Phase 5. However, that is in July 2024.
Yeah.
The next thing they've announced is not until November 2024. So I would not be surprised if there is an Avengers movie.
Avengers movie, potentially.
Young Avengers, New Avengers, West Coast Avengers, whatever the fuck they want to be. But
isn't there Avengers? They have announced another Avengers.
Yeah, for Phase 6.
Yeah.
So
2 Avengers for Phase 6. In fact.
We've got fairly. It looks like they've announced most things that are in Phase 5, but there is definitely room for 1 or 2 things to either move or that they're holding back. I mean, they're not under no obligation to tell us everything.
I think they've made space just in case things have to be moved back.
Yeah,
that would be my guess.
But yeah, I would not be at all surprised if there is some sort of either an Avengers movie or a we're getting the band together type movie.
So have they only announced 3 things from Phase 6 so far?
So in Phase 6, the only things they have announced are Fantastic Four,
which is
third time's the charm.
That's what makes me think we're going to get something Fantastic Four before then.
At least a few more hints or something.
Yeah.
And apart from that, the only things they've announced are Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Avengers: Secret Wars, which I'm presuming are going to be the Infinity War Endgame of this saga.
But they've also said that there is a chance that the Avengers: Kang Dynasty and Avengers: Secret War will have completely different Avengers in both of those films.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. If you look at those films are in May and November, which is quite close together. I'm presuming they're not going to be directed by the same person. Isn't it? It's the guy that directed Shang-Chi, isn't it? Daniel. I can't remember his.
Have they not announced a Shang-Chi 2 yet, by the way, as well? Because I fucking loved Shang-Chi.
So did I. I thought it was great.
So far, it's the non-Spider-Man highlight of Phase 4 for me. Spider-Man's still like the one, I think, but
Destin Daniel Cretton, that's it. He's going to be directing one of these apparently. The Russos are not doing it apparently. Again, all this it could just be lies. They do lie to people. So yeah, Phase 6 is most of it has not been announced yet, presumably because it would spoil a lot of what's going to happen in Phase 5. But there are some glaring omissions to this. So there's no Shang-Chi sequel, despite Ms. Marvel at least sort of heavily lent into some of the sort of the Ten Ringsian stuff.
Probably due another Spider-Man by this point as well.
Yeah.
Eternals.
Eternals follow-up, although I mean Eternals did not perform. I really liked it, but it did not perform.
I liked it
brilliantly. So perhaps that is it for the Eternals.
No Doctor Strange as well, which is
Doctor Strange, and glaringly, no X-Men.
Yeah. I wonder if that's coming after Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, though. I wonder if they're going to go, you're going to have the Fantastic Four in this phase, and then you're going to have the X-Men in Phase 7.
I think all these gaps in Phase 6 are going to be heavily X-Men related.
You reckon?
Because they've had time to work out what they want to do with those characters now. There's been a couple of tiny little teases. They're not going to do nothing with it. So, I'm sure there's going to be something.
There is that thing also in the She-Hulk trailer where they go, "We've got all these superheroes, their superpowers turning up."
Yeah,
it's that's
lovely. That's definitely a hint. Like just people.
But
with
isn't
powers
that
emerging.
related to something that happened in Ms. Marvel, though?
Well, it could be. It depends what they want to do, really.
Ms. Marvel yet?
The other thing to bear in mind, of course, is that D23 is coming up, which presumably they're going to save a few big wow moments for.
Yeah.
But
what they need is
I'm imagining
somehow
that
to get
is
the
going
Rock
to be D23 is going to be
character.
trailers for a lot of stuff that we haven't seen anything from yet.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. What they need is The Rock being massively underwhelming, dressed as his character from whatever fucking film is coming out. I love the fact that Marvel came out and went, Phase 5, Phase 6, we're rounding up Phase 4. Peace, we're gone. Okay? And DC came in and went, so we know you love that Batman film that just came out, right? Sold tons. Everyone loved that Batman film. Anyway, we're going to base things around the Shazam universe. Fucking great. Love
Shazam
it.
is probably
Nice
the
one,
DC film that I've enjoyed the most.
I don't know, the new Batman.
I mean, I am yet to see that. But...
Would you like to borrow it? I have it.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Cool. Yes.
But
so good.
Yeah, Shazam was really good.
It's good. It's not. I didn't see Shazam.
This is like we're talking by DC standards here.
Yeah. I didn't look at Shazam and go, "That's it. That's
it's no Iron Man 2."
No, true, very true. Maybe this is it. Maybe it all stems from Shazam now. Do we need to talk about before we go? Do we need to talk about the Dungeons and Dragons trailer as well?
Yeah, we haven't talked about that, have we? Yeah. How are you feeling about it?
Underwhelmed.
It wasn't really a trailer, was it? It was more of a sort of we're chatting about the movie.
It was enough of a trailer. There was an actual trailer as well. And in that actual trailer, you saw, here is a generic fantasy film where nothing really that interesting actually happens. We've got a tick list of things that I hear D&D nerds like. Okay, so yeah, put a mimic in there. Yep, we'll do that as well. He's a bard. Okay, cool, which means he's probably down in his luck, but he's probably good with the ladies. Oh, yep, there's a guy, a typical bard. Okay, cool. Every character that we've got in this is going to play the character we thought they were going to play in it. And what we're actually going to do is miss a massive trick of what we can fucking do with what would be a very good D&D film. For me, the problem they've got is going up against the likes of Critical Role, who are much better storytellers than we've seen in this fucking trailer.
I think it's a bit too early to tell at the moment, but yeah, it looks worryingly generic. But I'm wondering if there's going to be like a sort of a Lego movie type layer to this, where
fucking it needs it. Because
it is actually in a game or something.
Currently, it's like the It's currently like the Warcraft movie without any kind of actual heart to it or any kind of focus. The Warcraft movie at least went, you know what? We're going to take this fucking seriously. This almost comes close to taking the piss out of people that play Dungeons and Dragons.
Well,
I mean,
we'll see.
If it's, yeah, it just looks a bit of fun. I literally have no expectations about it. I'm just like, it's not going to be Critical Role. It's not going to be Legends of Vox Machina. It's probably not even going to be anywhere close to Willow.
No, Willow's weirdly what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, like that is what they could have gone for. And I'm like, well, it's a trailer that is meant to try and hook people in. I think I think they've tried to place. Weirdly, I think they've actually tried to play safe to try and get people into it. So they're not deliberately trying to appeal to D&D necessarily all the D&D aficionados,
but
whatever.
I'm not saying they should be, but who are they trying to appeal to? Because
I think it's just a general
people that thought Transformers was a tour de force. Like it's just like it's genuinely, that's the feeling I get from this, which is that this is a film directed by people that don't actually give a shit. Like,
I don't know. It was. I mean, I didn't mind the trailer.
What they need is more F-18s. That's what this trailer needs.
That's your big.
Yes.
That's your like. Guy, I've cracked filmmaking.
Yeah.
I mean,
all you have to do, no matter what movie you are making, put an F-18 in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fundamentally, they could have just I think, what was it? It was a displacer or something that bounced after them, and they had to jump into the gelatinous cube. Quite enjoyed that. That was quite.
But once again, that's okay. Displacer, tick that. Gelatinous cube, tick that. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
But that's also just, I don't know. It looked. I don't know. Well, for me, it looked a wee bit of fun, and that is sometimes all you need. And if that's all they're going for, fine. I have
Can I introduce you in the second Transformers film then, Duncan?
Yeah, well, I've watched the Transformers movies, yes. But it's not. Luckily, it's not Michael Bay.
It sounds like it looks like it's directed by Michael Beige. Like it's fucking. I'm proud of that.
Oh,
where's Tom with his clever jokes thing?
That was
yeah. The other thing is, like, they've missed the central point of D&D,
right.
which is all
I'm just
about.
going to shut you down. I don't really give a shit, to be honest. Like, everyone's got these. There's lots around. I'm just like, it's just a fucking movie. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. It could just be complete middle of the road. it looks a bit of fun, and sometimes that is all people kind of
You
want.
are aware though that if that is your argument, then there's no point in us doing a podcast.
Yeah,
right?
we
pretty
kind of
well.
have to have opinions on stuff. It's sort of
that's kind of
I
why
know,
the
but
yeah,
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There was the funny comments have been, well, obviously that's all the action bits because they can't really show a trailer where they've done some really cool move and then they can't actually open a door.
like,
And that is the genuinely, like, I want them to be, they're parts of the film. You know, you can't have a whole film about shopping.
If you see a trailer and there is a poor joke in it, you've got to remember this is the one they decided to put in the trailer. That's the other side of it. Like, they decided that this was going to sell this film. So my biggest gripe with it is that, considering D&D is all about inclusivity and that anyone can be anyone in a world that is completely make-believe, it's just, you can go as far as your imagination said. There's an awful lot of hot young people like playing hot young characters in this and missing a trick of, like, why not make the goblin a barbarian or something like that. Like, it just feels like they're really kind of missing the point of people actually playing Dungeons and Dragons, which is kind of the same as people missing what Transformers was all about as well, which is admittedly to sell toys. But it at least had some heart with, like, Optimus Prime always doing the right thing, and it just feels like that's not there. It feels like they could write the shameless cash in and people would be cool. That's what it is. Like, that's when people describe it as a bit of fun, cool, but it just feel like it. The MCU is a shameless cash in, but at least it's a shameless cash in where everyone goes, but hang on, I'd actually quite like to do a good job here. And that is what I think is lacking from the Dungeons and Dragons film, is that at no point does it feel like they've made anyone really care about their characters in this. And they're missing a massive trick on the fastest growing pastime, I think, over the last 3 years. It just feels like it's sad because it could be so much more, and it still could be. Maybe I've missed a point. Maybe halfway through it turns out they're all goblins, gnomes, and satyrs, but they're probably not. They're probably just going to be hot young people doing hot young things. Like, even The Witcher doesn't do that. You get Geralt who's hot, but you also get the fact that what Yennefer goes through to become Yennefer as well, and everyone surrounding them is a problem. Is a character with a massive flaw. And that just seems to be massively lacking from a film about a game that is about including absolutely everyone. That's my biggest issue with it.
I'm hoping that what we've seen is not actually representative of the it's not just group goes on generic fantasy adventure.
Could be filmed by a decent bunch of actors and a director, trailer by Hasbro. Like, it could be that, but I don't know. Oh fuck, it's Hasbro again. Shit, didn't even think about that. But the other side of it, I think, is that there are so many good D&D stories out there that if they half-ass this, then I think it will be noticed that you can do a much better job.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily D&D, but even like fantasy. I specifically said I don't see any point in fantasy after Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings films came out. I was wrong, but at the same time, like, Lord of the Rings is kind of like the gold standard of fantasy films you hold it up against, and you think, like, what was the point of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, for example? Like, it came out just after Lord of the Rings, and it didn't make a dent. Hope it's good.
Yeah,
I don't think it will be.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. But yeah. Is there anything else?
No, I think that's about it. So
Black Adam looks bad as well.
We'll spend an hour next time talking about the DC cinematic universe and their master plan for the next 3 years and the 50 films they're going to be releasing, all of which are different cuts of
just Shazam and Aquaman. That's it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll shut up now. Sorry.
So yeah, I think if that's it, let's bring this puppy home. Yeah, overall pretty exciting looking slate of stuff.
Looks
coming
great
up for Marvel. I'm not sick of superhero movies. There's other stuff out there.
Yeah.
What I'm sick of is shit superhero movies, but it turns out you just don't have to go and see those ones. So it's quite nice.
I haven't loved Thor, Love and Thunder, and Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness.
I really liked Multiverse of Madness, but it wasn't spectacular.
I thought the dialogue was really bad.
Some of it was, and yeah, I talked about it a bit, but like I think America Chavez's character was not a character. She could have been a glowing orb of energy, and the film wouldn't have been any different.
Also, not much multiverse.
No, but then it does have that. It has probably the most metal moment in the MCU so far when he turns up at the end.
That's cool.
Which really makes up for a lot of the rest of the movie.
When the film inevitably kind of hits mediocrity, that'll be the when. Do you remember when they were pushing for the Snyder Cut, and they were like, "How can you not make the Snyder Cut?" And then there was loads of stills that looked of these like deep, moody looking cool Batman and stuff like that, and it's like, okay, so you can take a still from a film. It doesn't make it. It doesn't mean that the film's actually any good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Yeah. Well, in that case, let's roll this up and go home.
Yeah.
If you have thoughts, questions, comments, opinions, facts, anything, you can hit us up on our social socials. They're all at TMTOOH. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. You know how fucking Twitter works. Dan, what's happening with... is there any Marvel and Marvel stuff type?
At some point, yes, we are going to do one. We are going to do 5 minutes on every film we've seen this year.
Can I quickly come up with better titles than Marveling Marvel for all of them? What films are you going to be looking at?
Okay, so it's going to be The Batman. Discussing DC.
Babbling about Batman.
Okay. So we're going to be talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once.
No, that's a tricky one, actually.
Yeah. Eloquating
Everything Everywhere.
Nice, Duncan, yes.
All at once. Love it. We're going to be talking about... What other fucking films we've seen this year? Oh, I saw Men.
Oh, the horror movie.
Yeah.
Machinations about men.
It's too short, that one. You can't do a good alliteration with that one.
No, I think Duncan did a good job there. I like that. What else have I seen? We were talking about Top Gun.
Titillating
Top Gun.
And there was another film I've seen this year that doesn't hold a candle to Top Gun. I can't remember what it is. But there's definitely some films that Terry's seen that we're going to be talking about.
The rest of the year is just going to be a case of going, just how much worse than Top Gun is this movie? Is it only a little bit worse than Top Gun, or is it a lot worse than Top Gun?
I can tell you my top 2 films are
Top Gun and the second
Batman.
time you saw Top Gun.
Yeah. Okay, well, in that case, my top 4 films are Top Gun. So, like when Mark Kermode consistently has it in his top 5 films, you know he's done something right.
Dan,
it is just a superbly crafted film.
It's so good.
Dan, how many times have you seen The Batman?
3. Since I've had it, I own it now. I've seen it like 4 times. But yeah.
So your top 10 films are Top Gun,
4
Top
times.
Gun.
Yeah.
And The Batman, The Batman.
Yeah.
And then
Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's quite good, actually.
And also you went to see
Men.
No, the Nicolas Cage film.
Oh my god! Okay, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is definitely in there as well. That film's fucking great.
It does look quite good. That
it is genuinely really, really good. It's not Top Gun. I want to stress that, but it's still very, very good.
There you go. That's your top 10 on films.
Nice.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Right, we're out of here. Everyone go and see Top Gun. Somebody else say cue the music because I need to find the right button to press.
And
cue the music.
Go to Top Gun.